Hello lovely people, I hope you are all doing well. I thought I'm about to do some stretching, why not whip out my camera and go through my basic stretching routine with you. Now this will differ pretty much every single day depending on where I feel some muscle soreness, what I feel like doing, what movements I particularly feel like doing on any given day. So this is your sort of sign to take what I'm doing with almost like a pinch of salt and use that as a way of educating you, learning new stretches. My kitten is in the background, so he's gonna make an appearance at some point. Yep, there we go, right on cue. I'm going to make sure to include exercises here that stretch out both the lower body and the upper body, a little bit of core as well. I'm gonna start up standing. Hopefully the camera angles will work okay. If this is something that you do want more of, please do let me know. Let's get stretching. So as mentioned, I'm gonna start with some standing stretches. Now I'm sorry, because of the camera angle, you can't see my full body here. So I'm gonna make sure I give you the general idea of what I'm doing. So what I want you to do first is take a big deep breath and just allow the arms to come all the way up to the top of me in the middle. Then what you're gonna do is as you breathe out, you're just gonna let everything hang heavy. It doesn't matter if your arms are still quite far away from the ground or if they're touching the ground, either or. Remember, you're working with your body here. Slowly start to come up, one vertebrae at a time, ending with the shoulders. The shoulders are nice and open. Now give the shoulders just a little bit of a roll here. So we'll give them a few rolls this way. Really nice. And then a few rolls in the opposite direction. We're going to do that one more time over just to fully release the body here. You are breathing in and looking up, breathing out and just letting everything fall. Just let it hang loose. And if you like, you can't really see down here, but you can grab onto the elbows and just hang heavy. Then you are rolling yourself back up. This time, I want you to clasp your hands behind your back, open up through the chest, and then bring your chin in towards your chest. Sometimes when I do this, my back cracks. So if your back just cracks, lucky you, mine didn't. Ooh, nice big stretch there. Then the same thing, you're gonna unclasp the hands, clasp them, stretch up nice and tall. If you can and you want to challenge your balance a little, come on to the tippy toes. You can see I just got a little bit higher here. And let it all release. Give your arms a nice little shake out. Then we're gonna come with a basic shoulder stretch. And I will show you how to advance a basic shoulder stretch. So you get one arm, you scoop it up. You want to make sure you're looking over your shoulder here. That will really help the shoulder get that extra little bit of opening and engagement. Take a few deep breaths in, and as you breathe out, you will notice that you may be able to stretch into it just a little bit more. And release, we go other side. So remember, take the arm long, scoop it up, and then you are looking over that other shoulder. And release, we'll do it one more time a little bit quicker. Scoop up, look over. And release, scoop up, look over. And now one last time here, a little challenge for you. So just before, we clasp the hands behind the back, opened up through the chest. Now this time I want you to do that again. And if you can, I want you to try and bring your hands around to one side of your hip. So you can see how this is opening up my right shoulder here, or left, or, you know, it's very confusing doing your left and rights when you're doing this on a video. And then come back to center, and then this way as well. And then one last time, extend the arms behind, bring the chin towards the chest so your arms are out nice and long here. Come back to center. Now one last challenge, I'm going to show you how I do this. I'm going to hinge at the hips like you're doing a deadlift. And I'm going to, as I hinge down, my arms naturally are going to come forwards. Now I'm quite flexible, so my arms can go quite far. Remember that. Your arms may only be able to go to here, and that is totally fine. This is your journey. The thing with stretching is, and you can come back up, you don't want to push your body where it doesn't want to be pushed, because then you're going to be doing a lot more harm than good, and it sort of negates the whole idea of doing stretches. Anyway, we are going to take it to the mat now for some lower body stretches. I'll meet you there. Okay, so we are on our mats now, and what I want you to do is just cross your legs here. Just cross your legs, place your hands on your knees, and just like we did when we were standing, just go with a few shoulder stretches. So I did say we were going to go with the lower body first on the mat, but we're just going to finish up our upper body stretching. Someone's found a noisy toy. It's all part of the experience, isn't it? And come back to center. Now make sure after you do your shoulder rolls, you're fully relaxing your shoulders, because sometimes after we've done our shoulder rolls, we end up just walking around like this. So release those shoulders, give yourself a little shake out if you have to. Place one hand on the mat. I'm not going to do any more left and right, it's too stressful. One hand on the mat, the other arm is coming up and around. Now, as it comes up and around, you'll find that this elbow will naturally bend. Again, this is going to look completely different for everyone. My flexibility is going to be different than your flexibility. So please just work with your own body and your own capabilities. I think that stretching can be a really good skill in self-awareness, because we're learning about when to push and when to pull. All right, coming up, we go other side. So hand goes on the mat, arm comes over, slight bend in the elbow. If you want a little bit of an extra challenge here, you can look towards the ceiling. If you're doing this outside, you can look towards the sky, and that's just going to stretch out the neck a little bit. We'll do it one more time, a little bit quicker. So hand back down. I've got a bit of a cold, so it's making me dizzy. And look up. Up. Arm goes down, and we come over. And up. Now from here, what I want you to do is extend one of the legs. And now there are two options here. Either you can keep your knee up like this, or if you would like a little bit of an extra twist, you can pop this leg over the other side. Now you're going to hold onto your knee, this hand goes behind you, and all you're going to do here is look towards the back of the room. Again, you may hear a few cracks here, totally normal, quite enjoyable. You are then going to come back to center, pop your feet in by your thigh. Again, you may be only able to get that feet at the knee, that's totally okay. Now we are going to stretch over towards our foot, but what you need to do before this, so the back doesn't round, is breathe in, stand tall. Now from here, you're just going to walk your hand towards this foot. You may have to stop at the top of the thigh. You may stop at the knee, you may stop at the shin, or you may be able to go all the way towards the foot. The main thing here is that you are not arching the back. You are keeping your posture upright. That's super, super important. Take a nice big deep breath here. Let it all go. Really nice time to just wind down, be mindful, be present. You can even do this while you're watching TV. You can do it while you're watching your cat. All right, walk those hands back up. We are going to go other side. So extend the other leg now and bring the knee in, either keeping it on the inside of the thigh here, or for the extra challenge, bringing it over the other side. Holding on at the knee, this hand goes behind, and we are twisting and looking towards the back of the room. You may also feel a stretch, especially if you're pulling the knee towards the other side. You will also feel a nice stretch all through the glute and the ITB band, which are typically quite tight areas, especially if you spend a lot of the day sitting down. So if you are feeling it here, that's completely normal. Okay, back to center, and just like we did on the other side, this foot is coming in. Stand up nice and tall, relax the shoulders down, and you are creeping, 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 just as far as you can go. As soon as that back starts to round, come back up. Nice deep breath in here, and this is definitely one of the ones where as you breathe out, you can probably stretch that a little bit deeper. Okay, coming up, and now I'm going to switch onto the long side of the mat, but I'm going to keep the camera angle up like this. We are going to come into a low lunge here. So hopefully you can see me on the camera. I might just move this mat over a little bit. Okay, so you are coming up into a kneeling position. You are then taking one leg forward. Up to you whether you want to have the toes up like this for a nice extra toe stretch, or you want to have the foot flat. I feel most comfortable with the feet flat. What you are going to do now is you set up your lunge. So I've got my balance, I've set up my lunge, and then you stretch forward. Again, I'm going to reiterate this over and over again. My lunge is going to look different from your lunge. I'm a very flexible person. You can then either keep your hand up at the knee here, but if you did want to go a little bit deeper into the lunge, that's when you can take your hands either side of the foot. And just take a few deep breaths in, try and sink down as low as you can go. Again, focusing on that posture. If your back is rounding, make sure your shoulders are dropped, the back becomes flat and you are looking forwards. Then if you can, start to creep those hands back a little bit, straighten through the front leg, allow the toes to come up naturally and feel a stretch all in the back of the leg. Breathe through it. Really good release for the hamstring here, and you know, even if you didn't have a leg day yesterday, we naturally have quite tight hamstrings just because of our lifestyles. So it's really good to make sure we're stretching them quite often. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to come back into that low lunge position. Now, if you can, this is a little extra challenge for you. You may just be able to get the leg up a little bit, and if so, stop there. Or what you can do is you can rise up into the lunge, you can take that back foot and either, again, stop there if that's the top of your capabilities. I wish you could see what this cat is doing. He's jumping in the air. But if you want to go a little bit further, you can start to bring that foot inwards. You will feel this quite intensely at the quadricep, but if there is pain at any point, stop, come back, take your alternatives. Again, breathe through it, and if we hold this pose for a few seconds, we're able to release the muscle a little bit. Nice deep breath in and exhale. Alright, releasing that foot. I want you to try and take your hands on the inside of the foot. So in our low lunge to start with, we had one hand either side of the foot. Now we're going with both inside the foot, just for a little bit of an extra stretch in our hip flexor here. Okay, crawl those hands back, pop down into your child's pose, stretch out, nice and long, nice stretch through the back. If you like, stack one hand on top of the other just to get into the upper back a little bit more. Then we come up and we're going to come on the other side now. So same thing, you are framing your low lunge and then you are sinking forwards. Then you are placing hands either side of the foot and just breathing through the stretch, feeling that opening. Using this as a time to just let everything go, body and mind. Someone wants me to play with them. Just see if he gets it. Can you get the ball? Then begin to walk those hands back, straighten the leg, allow the toes to naturally come up. The more flexible you are, the more the foot will come up. So if your foot's like this, all good. It'll what am I trying to think of? It'll flex further with time. It's one of those things, it's like learning a musical instrument. The more you stretch, the better and the more agile you will get. Just make it a priority and you'll find that you improve fairly quickly. So you should be able to feel this all in the back of the leg here. Okay, now we're just stretching forwards again. Frame that lunge. Now this is when you can take your options. Either you may just have the back foot up like this and that's enough of a stretch, or you can place your hands onto your knee and grab that back foot and bring it in. Make sure to look down to just make sure your balance is okay. I can't be the only one that has a little furry pet involved when I try and do these things. It just adds to the fun. Okay, release that one down, and now again, remember, instead of putting one hand on either side of the foot, we are coming inside, just for a moment to really get into that hip flexor. And really just see it as your last opportunity to see if you can just lunge that a little bit more. And come back. So we're going to come back into that child's pose. This time, I want you to take your knees wide to the outside of the mat. Big toes pointed together here. Come forwards a little bit. It's just so we can further go into those hip flexors. You're going to send the arms out nice and long, forehead to the mat. Just take a few breaths here. Okay, we have one last stretch here. This stretch is called Happy Baby. If you've done yoga, you'll be familiar with it. Bit of an odd one, but it is fantastic for the hip flexors. It's very playful. It makes you feel good. You can rock a little bit from side to side. You can really make it your own. So we're gonna do this. If someone happens to walk in the room when you're doing this, it's often quite funny. It's a conversation starter, but let's get into it. So you are laying on your back here. So lay down first, keep the knees up. You are then going to either hold on to your calves, or if you can, you are reaching for those feet, holding on to the outside of the foot, and you've got your Happy Baby pose. The knees can be bent here, as much or as little as you need, and if you're comfortable doing so, you can begin to rock from side to side. If you accidentally roll all the way over to one side, that's okay. It's just part of the fun. If you like, you can try extend one leg, bring it back in, extend the other leg, bring it back in. Really make it your own here, and you know, it's going to be something that feels different every day. One day you might be really playful with your movements, another day you might just feel like being completely still and focusing on releasing the shoulders and the upper back here. We'll go a few more seconds here. Hello. Hello. Okay, release the feet, hug your knees in, give yourself a big hug again if you'd like to rock from side to side. Go for it, feels lovely on the back. Oh, it's like a nice little massage. And then just lie out nice and straight, point your toes, stretch your arms overhead. Oh, that always feels good. And then slowly, so as to not harass your blood pressure, come back up to seated. And I hope that helped. I hope your muscles are feeling a little less tense now. I hope your mind is feeling a little bit clearer. Do this whenever you need just a quick little stretch session. I will hopefully be doing a few more of these as well. So if you want particular muscles to target as well, let me know and I can do that. But anyway, happy stretching, happy whatever day it is, wherever you are. And I will see you, and Tommy will see you in my next video.